You.
Hey, Kate. How are
Welcome.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Awesome. I love meeting with you and doing our when conversations go sideways. together.
Yeah. Welcome everyone to When Conversations Go Sideways. What episode are we up to now?
I think we're at episode 4.
Yeah. So we've talked about assume and compare and delete. And today we're talking about distortion and also
Yes.
coaching.
Yes. Yes, yes. So
So y-
distortion is our focus today. Um, and that is the third mental block. Um, and So distortion, what is it? And why is it important to recognize?
yeah.
Distortion is really what our mind does. Like, just like all the other mental blocks, it's a filter that we have, and it helps us survive in the world. We distort information because there's so much information coming at us at any given time. So our brain needs to sort through it and limit what we're taking in. But how do we do that?
And
We
so an
do it.
example is
Mhm.
like in a conversation, we might add in details. Like, for example, that when the person has said, well, I'm going to go to the store, we might take that as they're angry,
Eh,
but that might not be what the person meant. They might be concerned. They might be just in their own mind, but the listener adds a detail.
eh,
Or they may delete a detail about the store, which is necessary for that person, and just like, I'm leaving.
eh. Yes, that's a big part of distortion. It's that we selectively attend to certain information, and then we either over amplify it or we delete it or minimize it. And so now we've actually changed the information that was there present in reality.
Yeah. And, I can see this as an example even with my own children. And you can even do it with body language, not just with verbal words. When I'm insecure about my cooking. And look,
Mm,
we sit down to have a nice family meal, and I've made something new, like this, uh, coconut chicken curry casserole, something that I've kinda made up, and I put it down in front of them, and then if I see, like, the shoulders go down or kinda like I'm like, "Oh, you don't like it." And they're like, Mom, we haven't said that. We haven't even, like, give us a chance. Give us a couple bites. We'll give you our," but I've already distorted
yeah.
that
That's a perfect yeah, it's a perfect example of distortion because you came in with a belief, an expectation that they were not gonna like it or that the food wasn't gonna be good. So then you took information that was probably neutral.
yes.
It probably had nothing to do with the meal, and you latched onto it, and you amplified it, you made an interpretation about it, and then you actually went the next step and made it, in this case, like, an assumption, and spoke it out loud. Wow, you don't like the meal?
Yeah. And I could have had another distortion. I could have decided that when the shoulders went down and there was an exhale, oh my gosh, the kids are home and they're finally able to relax.
Eh,
And I've just
I
made
love
them
that.
this dinner and look at they're exhaling. Oh, tell me about your day. Isn't that how different does that conversation go than like, you don't like it?
Yeah, and that's amazing too because, yes, we also distort, let's say, in positive ways,
Yes.
and, that's like positive thinking. or deciding that we're going to have a certain belief about something. And there's nothing wrong with that because in your example, like there's two different beliefs you could take in. They're going to hate the food or, um, they're going to be happy to be home and just that we can be together and relax.
Yeah.
And so you then interpret the information. And if it was the second one, like, oh, they're happy to be home and we're all together, it's more likely that the conversation is going to go a lot more positively. You're going to be curious about them. And the food just became actually a non issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so, what can we do about distortion? What do you think?
Well, this is, the same with the other mental blocks. We can become aware that we
Yes.
do this, know that we do this. And a lot of the time, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just part of it's how we function. It helps us survive. It's when we get triggered, usually emotionally
Mm.
triggered. That is when distortion will often become amplified. So you were attached to them liking the food,
Yeah.
or you wanted to avoid them being upset about the food. So so then you looked for information or you saw information that fit this fear and your amygdala got triggered. And now it's this huge thing. Oh my God, they hate the food. And I'm even going to call them out on it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And even if they didn't, now they're going to probably be upset because I'm like, you don't like the food?
Or even they'll distort and go every time we sit down. Every time we got to tell mom we like her food.
Yeah.
So even before, oh, mom, that's great.
Yes.
So
So
actually
actually
being aware
distortion, yes, yeah. Become aware.
and then be curious. The,
Mhm.
you can become curious in your mind when you noticed that you're using distortion or somebody else is distorting, and you can cultivate questions. Am I distorting right now?
Yes.
What might I be distorting right now? What emotion might be present? What uh, preconceived idea did I have that led me to
Yes.
say that?
Yes. Or you could also ask like, what am I attached to here? Again, it's an emotional trigger. So it's like you were having a fine conversation and all of a sudden something got triggered either in you or the other person. And that's when you're like, "Ooh, wow, what just happened?" That's
Yeah.
awareness.
Yeah.
And then the curiosity. And then you start to cultivate questions because that can help break the distortion if we start to ask it questions about what happened, what I might I be attached to here? What was the belief that I'd be holding on to? Or what is the belief that I am holding in this situation?
Great questions. And
Mm,
what that does is it gives time and space
mhm.
and gives a pause so that we're responding rather than reacting.
Yes. And
Like,
it also opens up possibilities.
yes,
In the example, you often when we distort something, especially negative distortion, we have probably closed down. It's like this is the conclusion. This is the only possibility here. But when we stop and slow down and pause and start to ask questions, it actually starts to open up possibilities.
yeah, and that was our when we're doing our ABCs, that was one of the Ds was don't conclude.
Mhm. Mhm.
So rushing
Yeah.
too quick to conclusions, is a way to distort information.
Yeah, and we can use distortion positively.
Yeah,
We already started about it, but like in creativity, creativity is about looking at the reality, like all of the possibilities that we know so far, let's say. But in creativity, we often want to go and try to find something new. or find a new possibility or new option. So in that, we actually may decide that we're going to distort certain parts of the information in order to find a new possibility. To
Yeah.
like look at something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. And also, it reminds me of like what people are saying, like, choose your Delulu. Like, you can use it intentionally
Yes.
to choose a better feeling thought when,
Yeah. Yeah, and I was that's the whole, I think philosophy behind positive thinking, is that if we decide we're going to choose to believe or focus on a certain belief because it's more empowering for us,
like,
then when we move from that place, we start to see in the environment, we start to see the situations or possibilities where that is evident. So our selective attention now actually helps us to move towards this more creative or more affirming way of viewing the world.
and I can give a quick example and then we can move on to our next item.
Yes.
Um, the other night, I was coming home from the gym, and here in Cambodia, I travel in a tuk-tuk, and we have
Mhm.
an app like Uber called Grab. And I had not realized that I had put in a different locate. The phone had automatically decided I was at the tea shop instead of at the gym, and I didn't pick it up. So one driver pulls up, and I'm trying to communicate, and my Khmer is not perfect where I am through sending pictures and using the security guard to communicate. And after he doesn't come, and there's two big roads that I would have to cross to get to where this guy is. So we're like parallel, but divided by streets. So I cancel. I cancel the driver. I get another driver. That's when I realize it's not the driver that made the mistake. It's me that made the mistake.
Mhm.
And so I'm now in this mode of wanting to fix, but I've sent him the picture to where I'm at. I've had the security guard talk to him, and the app looks like he's also at the tea shop. So I'm like, I wait and I wait. And then because I'm getting nervous that like this is the second guy, how am I, you know, it's 9 o'clock at night, it's dark, I've got to get home to the kids. I run to this tea shop across these two big streets. And then at the same time I'm running, the app just hasn't shown me that he drove to where I was. So he drove to where I was, and then somehow he saw the dot moving and he came to the tea shop.
Mhm.
I get in the cab and I don't realize that he can speak some English. Not a lot of English, but he's like, you stay, like, don't move, like, I can see you." And
Mm.
because I had had the cancellation, I was nervous, I ran across 2 streets. My body is like, "This is not safe, this is not safe." And
Mm.
when the tuk-tuk driver was speaking loudly, I was like, I all of a sudden was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't feel safe, I'm scared." But I became aware in the moment. I'm like, this is just in me. I'm just
Mhm.
not feeling safe."
Mhm.
And once I relaxed, I became curious. I'm like, "Oh, maybe I should just talk to the guy." So he's speaking to me in English, and I have very poor Khmer, so I start speaking back in Khmer. Like, "Somdo," like, "I'm sorry." Like, and, and then we had an absolutely lovely conversation.
Mhm.
He made 2 stops for me, and that activating awareness, becoming curious, and asking myself for a different possibility was so transformative. And then when I came in the house, instead of being all stressed and going, I had to book 2 tuk-tuk, 2
Mhm.
tuk-tuks, and I was at the gym and I don't like it when I can't get home from the gym and, instead of coming home in anxious energy,
Mm,
I had changed the interaction during the interaction,
mm,
noticed my distortion. I was distorting that he was angry that I had moved,
mm.
and once I gave up that distortion, I was able to, show up at home in a
I
different way.
love that. I mean, that's the power of coaching, and that's what we're gonna also talk about now. I think that's such an amazing example, and this is really what we want, right? Is to be able to catch ourselves in the moment and, you know, when the conversation could go sideways or does go sideways, if we can catch ourselves and actually realign and just a little shift like that, and look what happened. It's like such an amazing, like, the next sequence of events. You had a good talk, you came home in a better mood. Like, what an amazing experience that is.
Yeah, and I'd say, Matthew, that that's a benefit of becoming a coach
Mm,
is that one, through the program, we're doing a lot of peer coaching to get our 100 hours, then our 500 hours for the ICF, the International Coaching Federations, ACC and PCC, the associate
mm,
coaching credential and the professional coaching credential. And when you receive coaching a lot, receiving coaching helps you develop confidence.
mm.
In your coaching sessions, you often make a commitment. And I have found that through holding myself to those commitments, like I mentioned the gym, right? Um, I've rarely gone to the gym consistently. And since April, I've gone to the gym 40 times. I think like now, like
Wow.
43 times, but it did a big 40 when I have a gym app. So that's developed a lot of confidence in me that I've made a commitment to go to the gym and kept to it.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna guess that commitment came not because you were like, "I'm gonna go to the gym." I'm sure you've done it many times, but something must have shifted in your coaching around, like, exploring what are my resistance to going to the gym? Like, what is blocking me from going to the gym? And in that exploration, you came naturally to want to commit. And it came from a different place than maybe it had come in the past. It came through that awareness and that self-discovery.
You It's like you're reading my soul. Like exactly, because it became more about my strategies for
Mm,
dealing with life in
mm,
general instead of like I want to lose this amount of weight. I want to, have a more toned um I wanna have more toned abs or something. Instead of these specific goals, it's more of like a holistic, how do I live my best life? Like,
mm,
what does my ideal day look like? What does a
mm.
successful life look like?
Yeah, and that's what coaching does. It helps us explore our own mindset. It helps us look at, the different mental blocks that we just live with day in and day out, and starts to crack open some of our own beliefs that are limiting us. But it comes naturally through that process, through that non-judgmental, just having someone listen, ask, really questions that will help us gain insight into our own mindset and where we may be blocked. So it's this beautiful process. And yeah, it starts right in the coaching program. That's what we're also talking about. You and I are going to be co-teaching the ICF ACC, the Associate Certified Coaching Credential Program, starting third week in July. And I'm super excited to work with you with this. You and I have been coaching with each other for almost a year now. So
Yeah.
we have gained this understanding of each other and this comfort with each other, which is what's made this so excited to teach with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we want to build awareness around coaching, the power of coaching.
Mhm.
So for some of you, maybe you just want to explore coaching, contact us. And when we post this, we'll post links to our calendar. So if you resonate with one of us, have a free complimentary connection call and see what coaching can do for you. And if
Yeah,
you're like, I'm all in, I've had a coach, I love coaching, I want to become a coach, that can help
yeah,
you as a leader. Just having coaching skills transforms leaders.
it's amazing. Yeah.
It can help you
We
as any service provider,
Mhm.
a marketer, a realtor, a therapist. It's just a skill set to add to what you already do. But some of you may want to increase your income on the side and have your day job as a nurse or a technician or a teacher. And then at nights and weekends or for teachers on our summer holidays, you can meet with clients and help make the world a better place through helping more people uh, determine and develop their best lives.
Yeah, and as you said, being a coach, and even so, if you go through this coaching program, you learn the skills of coaching. So whether you become a coach or you just apply those skills in your current job or profession, you're also going to apply them in every other aspect, your relationships,
Yeah,
so they really help with everything. And that's what's so beautiful about coaching. And as you coach other people or just practice these coaching skills in your life, you just see how powerful they are. And so growth and transformation just comes naturally out of practicing and learning these skills.
absolutely. So, we'll have a button below if people just want to join, but you're likely going to want to talk to us about the coaching program.
Yeah, and I'll say so yes, we have the ICF, the official coaching program to become a coach or to go through the full experience of becoming a coach. But we also offer coaching. So if you're not quite sure, but you just want to try out some coaching or do some coaching and have that experience, we also do that. And we're also offering an integrated coaching program, which is like a 6 week program with uh, sort of focusing on your business and personal and professional development. And it's both a combined group and individual coaching program. So basically, we are open to just to talk with you and find out where you're at and what you might be interested in. And yeah, we love coaching.
Yeah. So until next time, when we do the fifth mental block, have a great day and become aware
All
of when distortion enters your conversations.
right. Thank you, Kate. As
Thank you, man.
always, what a pleasure.
What a pleasure. I love working with you.
You too.
Say,
Bye bye.